6 months after my wife and I planned our strategic divorce, she secretly married her new lover. I didn't learn the truth until our daughter accidentally found a new house deed and my wife flew into a rage, hitting her. Laura, we agreed it was a fake divorce. Why would you betray me? She just threw the divorce certificate in my face. Ethan, you're unbelievable. What part of divorce is fake? If you have to blame someone, blame yourself for being so stupid. Yeah, blame me for being stupid. But Laura, what does it say about you that you're kneeling in front of me now, begging me to take you back? Laura and I were high school sweethearts. We'd known each other for 15 years and had an 8-year-old daughter, Lily. To get Lily into a top-rated school district, we came up with a plan that seemed like a no-brainer, a strategic divorce. It would let us use a first-time homebuyer loan with a lower interest rate to make the down payment on a house in the district. Honey, aren't you worried I'll have second thoughts with the new house being in my name? Laura had asked after signing the papers, a smug smile on her face, but her eyes full of love. If you ever did, Lily and I would be absolutely heartbroken, I joked back. I was so sure she'd never betray me. After all, she was the one who pursued me back in the day, fighting her way through a crowd of admirers. I'm kidding, she'd said. After 15 years together, nothing could ever replace you. Lily saw us and giggled, covering her mouth. Mom, Dad, get a room. Thinking back to that happy day, the joy of our family, and then looking at the cold dinner sitting on the table, a bitter taste filled my mouth. Ethan, working late tonight. Not coming home. Another one of those cold, sterile texts. In the 6 months since our divorce, Laura and I had grown more and more distant. She used to call me the second she got off work, waiting for me to pick her up so we could go home together, where she'd roll up her sleeves and cook a real meal. But now, she wouldn't even call me honey anymore. It was like after a decade of marriage, I suddenly had a first name again. The woman who loved her husband and daughter had vanished. I tried FaceTime. Laura answered, sitting in her office, looking annoyed. She wordlessly flipped the camera around, panning across the empty hallway and silent office. See, she said, her voice sharp. I'm really working late. No one else is here. Her tone killed any desire I had to talk. I hung up. An hour later, as I was about to clear the cold leftovers from the table, Laura walked in. She wasn't alone. Our friend, Caleb, was with her. Hey, Ethan, Caleb said. I was hoping to grab a drink with you, and I just happened to run into Laura on her way home. Laura didn't explain. She just went to the shoe cabinet and pulled out a pair of blue slippers for him. Put these on. It's cold. Don't want your feet to freeze. She was so considerate, as if she were his wife. They walked right past me, and I stood there feeling like a stranger in my own home. Man, looks like I came at a bad time, Caleb said, gesturing to my empty plate. You're already done eating. Caleb, if you're hungry. I started to say. Laura cut me off, handing him a glass of hot water. Drink this to warm up. There are still groceries in the fridge. I'll whip something up for you. I swallowed my frustration and went to the kitchen to help prep the vegetables. Ethan, what is wrong with you? Laura snapped, her expression shifting back to annoyance the moment she looked at me. The fridge is practically empty. You couldn't be bothered to go shopping. I tossed the green beans I was holding into the sink. You haven't been home for a week. Who am I supposed to be cooking for? This is all we have. Cook it or don't. I was losing my temper, too. I went and sat on the couch with Caleb, making pointless small talk. Hey, man, you shouldn't fight with Laura so much, Caleb said. She's a woman, working hard out there. The last thing she needs is to come home and deal with a husband's bad moods. You're only seeing the surface, I said, my voice low. Honestly, it's heartbreaking. It's like she's a completely different person. Sensing my mood, Caleb only seemed to get more animated. He started bragging about how amazing his new girlfriend was, telling me I should wake up and let Laura go if I wasn't happy. Look at this, he said, showing me his hand. This gold ring is a wedding gift for my girlfriend. He looked so proud. Seriously? Your girlfriend bought you a wedding ring? You're a lucky guy, I said. Tell me about it. She's super generous with me. But, you probably won't want to come to my wedding. He was being vague, and it was confusing. Is it someone I know? Oh, you could say we're acquainted. I'll invite you when the time comes. You have to be there. We chatted idly while Laura finished cooking. Caleb, dinner's ready. Come and get it, she called out. The casual affection in her voice made my stomach clench. Caleb loved Laura's cooking, praising it endlessly. Ethan, I'm so jealous. You're a lucky man, marrying such a great cook. So, Caleb, why don't you tell us about your girlfriend? I asked, trying to sound playful. Laura's face instantly darkened. Ethan, why would you bring that up out of nowhere? What's the big deal? I mumbled. She slammed her chopsticks down. If you've got nothing better to do, maybe you could learn how to help Lily with her homework instead of just hiring tutors all the time. I never thought I'd hear those words from the woman I married. I was furious, but I just made an excuse about picking Lily up from her after-school program and left. When I got back, the dishes were still on the table, but Laura and Caleb were gone. I called out their names, searching the apartment. Nothing. My heart, which had been racing with suspicion, finally settled. It looked like I was wrong. Nothing was going on between them. Just then my phone buzzed. A text from Caleb. Hey Ethan, those green beans weren't fully cooked. I got food poisoning. Laura's with me at the ER. Don't be mad. I sent back a simple, smiley face emoji and left it at that. But that ER visit turned into an all-nighter. Laura didn't come home until noon the next day. She found me lying on the balcony, soaking up the sun. Her tone was sharp. Ethan, unbelievable. It's almost noon and you didn't even bother to save me any food. I haven't eaten either. Were you waiting for me to cook for you? What exactly did I marry you for? In 10 years of marriage, Laura had never said anything like that. She used to tell me that marrying me was the best decision she'd ever made. But now, unbelievable. Laura, Caleb gets a stomachache, and you act like the world is ending. Anyone who didn't know better would think there was something going on between you two. My words struck a nerve. She kicked my leg hard, then grabbed a book from a nearby shelf and threw it at my head. I was stunned. Blood trickled down from my temple. It didn't smell of iron, just bitterness. This wasn't some baseless suspicion. Last year, when Laura's father died of a brain hemorrhage, she was at the hospital with Caleb while he was getting in for a fever. Her excuse was that Caleb was her late best friend's brother, and since her friend was gone, she had to look out for him. She missed her own father's funeral to be with Caleb. Everyone at work warned me to be careful of him, but I felt sorry for the kid. He just graduated from college, didn't have a stable job, and his sister, the only family he had, was gone. He didn't have any other friends here. I thought we should help him where we could. From small things like running out of groceries or laundry detergent to big things like being sick, Laura was always there for him, taking care of everything personally. The memories flashed through my mind. I steadied myself and looked her straight in the eye. Caleb is a grown man. Laura, what do you think people are saying when they see you acting like this? A dirty mind sees dirt everywhere. Ethan, I never thought you were such a petty, small-minded man. I felt a knot of anger tighten in my chest. If I were small-minded, would I have let you dote on him all this time? Let me tell you something. If you have any memory of having a husband and a daughter, you'll stay away from him. Laura ignored my warning. She went to my fishing tackle box and pulled out a thick rope. She quickly fashioned a noose and walked toward the door, throwing a threat over her shoulder. Ethan, if you won't believe me and insist on insulting our pure friendship, then what's the point of living? I'll just go in it all to prove my innocence. Her dramatic gesture terrified me. I was afraid she'd actually do something stupid in a fit of anger, so I rushed to apologize. Honey, you know I have a big mouth, but a good heart. Don't take it so seriously. I know he's had it rough. Okay, I was wrong. Please don't be mad. Her expression softened, and she gently hugged me. Look, we've been together for so long. How could I ever leave you and Lily? I figured she was right. No mother would ever abandon her child. Laura apologized for hitting me, and thinking of the 15 years we'd been through thick and thin together, I forgave her. That storm passed, especially once we finally closed on the new house. But I never could have imagined that while I was excitedly planning the renovations, Caleb was already moving in. With all the paperwork done, I was eager to hire a designer and start renovations. When we bought our first place, we didn't have much money, so we moved in without doing any proper work on it. After Lily was born, a major renovation was out of the question. So for this new house, I was obsessed with getting every detail of the design and materials just right. But every time I tried to discuss my ideas with Laura, she'd brush me off, telling me I needed to rest. Ethan, I'm swamped trying to get this promotion at work, and your last checkup wasn't great. Just take some time to relax. The house isn't going anywhere. Thinking about it, she had a point. I decided to take a real break and took Lily on a week-long trip. Lying in a hotel bed one night, I was texting with Caleb. Caleb, you have to move on with your life, I wrote. I know what you mean, Ethan. Things are going really well with my girlfriend. She loves me a lot, and we're planning the wedding. I was happy for him. That's great, man. When you get married, I'll have Laura do the honors of combing your bride's hair. I typed, referencing an old tradition. Awesome. You guys have such good luck. If Laura does it, we'll be blessed for sure. It was late when we finished chatting. I scrolled through my phone and saw a rare post from Laura on her Facebook page. Been too long. Miss you. A smile spread across my face. It was true. We hadn't been apart this long in years. I liked the post. A moment later, she deleted it. Then my phone rang. It was her, asking why I was still awake. Because I miss you too, obviously. She gave a forced laugh. We're an old married couple. That's so cheesy. Is it? Okay, it's late. Get some sleep. As usual, after just a few words, she said she was tired and quickly hung up. I was about to turn in when I saw Caleb had updated his own Facebook status, sharing the design plans for the new house. Can't wait for the wedding. I looked at the pictures of the floor plan. The layout was identical to our new house. I stopped myself from liking the post. A sense of unease crept over me. That specific floor plan only existed in one development in the entire city, the one where we just bought. Was it just a coincidence? I zoomed in on the photos. The primary bathroom had been converted into a walk-in closet. The smaller spare bedroom was now a home office, complete with a custom-built cat tree in the corner. I couldn't be sure. I scrolled through the rest of his feed. It was strange. I hadn't seen any of his recent updates. There were pictures of expensive watches, designer shoes, fancy dinners, all bursting with romantic sentiment. I commented on his post. The design looks great. That floor plan is the same as my place. Which development is it? Caleb didn't answer my question. He changed the subject. Not just a coincidence. And you know how it is, the final build is always different from the plans. Knowing I'd be home the next day, I eventually gave in to exhaustion and fell asleep. When I got home, I found Laura cleaning the house. The study was a mess. Lily went to help tidy up, but accidentally pulled out the deed for the new house. I had just rolled up my sleeves to join the cleaning when Laura snatched the deed out of her hands. Without a word, she slapped Lily hard across the face, then started hitting and kicking her. Laura, are you insane? Laura had always been so gentle with our daughter. Now she was acting like a crazed animal. Alarm bells went off in my head. I ran over to protect Lily and grabbed the deed from Laura's hands. Her eyes were bloodshot. The muscles in her face twisted into a mask of pure fury that chilled me to the bone. This wasn't the Laura I knew. There was something terribly wrong with this deed. I didn't hesitate. I opened it. When I saw the names on the document, I froze as if I'd been nailed to the floor. Owners: Laura Miller, Caleb Vance. Tenancy: joint ownership. I never, ever would have imagined that the property deed we got through a fake divorce would have my wife's name next to another man's. For I collapsed onto the floor, the deed trembling in my hand. Laura shoved Lily into the study and locked the door. I struggled to keep my composure, to not fall completely apart. Laura, we agreed it was a fake divorce. Why would you betray me? The words came out, and my heart shattered into a million pieces. How could the wife I had cherished for so long change so completely in just a few short months? I expected an explanation, even a lie to placate me. But she didn't even try to hide it anymore. She pulled out our divorce certificate and threw it in my face. Ethan, you're unbelievable. What part of divorce is fake? If you have to blame someone, blame yourself for being so stupid. Her words were like a splash of ice water. Of course, there's no such thing as a fake divorce. After we used the first-time homebuyer loan to make the 30% down payment, we liquidated our 401k accounts to pay down a huge chunk of the principal. $5 million mortgage was suddenly less than $500,000. But in the months that followed, Laura never once mentioned getting remarried. The promise we'd made to divorce but not separate had become a cruel, one-sided reality. I stared at the cold, merciless face in front of me, and a flood of memories from our 15 years together washed over me. When she was pregnant, a pound of cherries cost $150 in the winter. Without blinking, I spent half a month's salary to buy her 10 pounds. After she gave birth, I cleaned her, washed her bloodstained clothes, and never once showed any disgust. Even as Lily grew up, I still washed and dried Laura's hair and made sure we had date nights, no matter how busy we were. Because she'd always said our love couldn't turn into a comfortable routine, that I had to cherish her so she'd never feel like she was losing. We had loved each other so fiercely. We'd made it through the hardest years. And now, when things were finally getting easier, our life together was ending. When did it all start to change? I kept asking myself what I had done wrong. Laura, if we're really divorced, what about Lily? You don't regret this? She sat on the sofa, looking down at me with a satisfied smile. Regret what? You always said Lily was your little princess. Let her stay with you. That was her answer. It felt like a knife in my heart. When did you two get together? 6 months ago. She couldn't even be bothered to pretend anymore. It made sense. After Caleb's sister died, he'd fallen into a depression. Laura and I had taken him to see a therapist. Then I was sent away for a 2-month work training. When I came back, Laura had become Caleb's unofficial wife. Now, I remember the photos on her phone, all the places they had been. At the time, I'd actually believed her when she said they were just random pictures a stranger had taken that she forgot to delete. How pathetic. Laura, I have one more question. Your cat allergy. Was that a lie too? My whole body was shaking with rage. That part wasn't a lie. The allergy is real. She came over and nestled against me, rubbing her head on my shoulder. Ethan, try to understand. I did love you. It hurt me to see you like this. But I don't want to lie to you. I've fallen in love with Caleb, too. You can't control feelings. They just happen. I just made a mistake. I cut her off, refusing to hear the rest. You just made the same mistake every other cheating woman makes. I'm glad you understand, she said, sighing in relief. I don't understand. Even if you love him that much, aren't you afraid your allergy could kill you? Love conquers all. Love conquers all. What a joke. For love, Laura, a woman who was severely allergic to animal fur, was willing to design a custom cat room in her new home for Caleb's pet. Love them, and you love their cat. Don't love them, and everything is gone. We were really divorced. This was the end of our road. But if she was going to deceive me like this, she was going to pay a price. 5 after everything was out in the open, we both became surprisingly calm. Laura talked about how she couldn't bear to part with me and Lily, but when I came home from work the next day, all of her things were gone. On the coffee table, she'd left me a brand new Longines watch. A text followed. Ethan, Caleb liked the watch I gave you when we got married, so I gave it to him. This one is newer. Even if you sell it, it's worth more than the old one. So Caleb still had a taste for other people's leftovers. He liked my slippers and had to buy the same pair. He liked my shirts and had to get the same brand. He liked my wife, and now he had her. And now, he even had to have my watch. A wave of disgust washed over me. What was wrong with this guy? He'd already secretly married Laura. Couldn't he buy his own damn watch? I didn't understand Caleb's obsession, but I respected their new reality. Laura was right. This one was worth more. That afternoon, I took the watch to a high-end reseller and got several $1,000s for it. When my director, Mr. Davidson, heard about what happened with Laura, he sighed heavily. Ethan, how many times have I told you to focus on your career? Well, forget it. What's done is done. Just put your head down now. The end-of-year performance reviews will directly impact next year's promotions. Mr. Davidson connected me with the best divorce lawyer in the city, someone who had never lost a case. I began compiling evidence of Laura's affair and the fraudulent divorce, while competing with her at every turn at work. Keeping her boy toy happy was clearly a distraction, and Laura's focus was shot. With me actively challenging her on every project, our colleagues were just waiting for the drama to unfold. When we were in love, I used to pass opportunities on to her. She probably thought she'd built up enough goodwill with management that she could just kick me to the curb. But she didn't know that all the effort I'd put in, all the late nights and client dinners, were things she could never take away from me. Sure enough, she started to feel the cold shoulder from leadership. Then she received the court summons. Her mood soured completely. She asked me to meet her at the coffee shop where we had our first date. Time really does fly. The old shop, which had been there for over a decade, was about to change hands and get a new name. A bit like us, isn't it? I said casually, sipping my coffee. Ethan, can you just stop this? You know how hard it is for a woman to climb the corporate ladder. Why are you trying to burn everything to the ground in a way that hurts us both? Laura pleaded, trying to reason with me before offering a half-hearted apology. I'm sorry about what happened with Caleb. Just drop the lawsuit. Whatever you want, I'll do my best to give it to you. I laughed, a flicker of contempt in my eyes. What else are you good at besides sweet-talking men? Once I get this promotion, it's over for you. Do we really have to fight to the death? Yes. You have to lose for me to win. The conversation, predictably, went nowhere. For the next month, Laura faced one setback after another with management and our team. She was too busy to bother me again. Caleb, however, could no longer hide behind her. On my birthday, as my friends and I were leaving a bar, I saw him waiting for me outside. He wrinkled his nose in disgust at the smell of alcohol on me. I told my friends to go on ahead. A meeting between the ex-husband and the other man was never going to be pleasant. Ethan, it was all my fault, he started. Laura was just taking pity on me. Please don't fight with her. It's not good for either of you. What if a third party benefits while you two are at war? The nerve of this guy, lecturing me. I'm young. Can you forgive me? If he was pulling the age card, then I was definitely entitled to knock some sense into him. The thought had barely crossed my mind before my hand was already moving. A single slap left 5 clear fingerprints on his cheek. Caleb burst into tears and ran off. I had no idea what Laura saw in him. He was so effeminate, acting like a spoiled child. But when my former mother-in-law contacted me, I knew Caleb was up to no good. 6 the next morning, before I had fully shaken off my hangover, I woke up to find my former mother-in-law staring daggers at me from the side of my bed. Damn it, I forgot to change the code on the door lock. Ethan Hayes, I thought you were a good husband, that you cherish my daughter. But look at you now, a pathetic drunk. The old woman was fuming, her cheeks puffed out like a squirrel hoarding nuts. I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing. Ethan, are you listening to me? What is this attitude? As I was still trying to process her lecture, I felt a sharp, twisting pain in my arm. I was instantly awake and shoved her away. She stumbled and hit the wardrobe, but didn't miss a beat. Ethan, let me tell you something. If a woman isn't desirable to other men, is she even a woman? This old hag. I wasn't even her son-in-law anymore. It was one thing to defend her daughter, but to come here and kick me when I was down was too much. I rubbed my temples and chuckled. Is that right? You seem to know a lot about it. You must have a few admirers on the side yourself. She raised her hand to slap me, but I caught her wrist. You're old. You're past your prime. Manage your own life and your daughter's, and stay out of mine. You didn't raise me. You have no right. Her jaw clenched, her lips trembling with rage. Ethan, you motherless piece of trash. You have no class at all. She could insult me, but not my mother. You old shrew, I've had enough of you. I shot up and pushed her onto the bed just as Laura and Caleb arrived. Mom, Ethan, what are you doing? Let her go. Caleb rushed over, crying, trying to break us up. Mom, it's all my fault. I'm the one who made Ethan angry. Oh, this was infuriating. How can anyone be so pathetic? Caleb, you haven't even had the wedding reception, and you're already calling her mom. You're truly shameless. Though he was angry, Caleb stuck to his persona. Mom, he sobbed, Ethan may look down on me, but Laura and I got together because she wanted to give your family an heir to carry on a name. I got it. Before we were married, I had promised Laura's family that if we had a son, he would take their last name. But Laura never got pregnant again. Hearing Caleb's words, the old woman understood immediately. Laura, are you really pregnant? Laura nodded shyly. We checked. It's a boy. Suddenly, all was forgiven. Caleb, you college graduates are really something else, her mother beamed. This is wonderful. I'm finally getting a grandson. I watched the family drama unfold and laughed mockingly. What are you laughing at? Married for 10 years, and you couldn't even produce a son. You're no better than a useless hen that can't lay eggs, the old woman sneered. Laura looked at me, her expression complicated. Mom, why are you bringing that up? She said quietly. Stay out of this. Why can't I bring it up? If he can't give you a son, what good is he? I stepped away and made a quick phone call. Then I turned back to the old woman with a sincere look. You're right. You're the hen who knows how to lay eggs. I'm sure you've already given Laura a little brother, haven't you? I knew it was disrespectful, but they had pushed me too far. Just as her mother lunged to hit me again, Laura suddenly collapsed, hitting her head on the floor. Blood pooled around her. Ethan, why did you push me? She stammered. Great. I was about to be framed for this. But I remained calm, dialed 911, and waited. When the police arrived, they were stunned by the chaotic scene. "Who called this in?" "I did, officer. Sorry about this. Originally, I was calling because someone entered my home without permission, and I wanted your help to sort it out. But now, it looked like Laura was having a miscarriage. Saving the baby was the priority." 7 As it turned out, Laura's luck had run out. She was emotionally agitated and had low blood sugar. When she fainted, she lost the baby. In a hospital room, Caleb clung to Laura, sobbing hysterically. "Laura, our baby, it's all Ethan's fault. If he hadn't pushed you, our baby would still be." "When did I push her?" My temper flared. My quick tongue always got me into trouble. And just like that, Caleb seized the moral high ground. "After all the years you were married, couldn't you have just let her have this one thing? She wanted a son so badly." I could pretend not to care, but seeing Laura curled up in Caleb's arms still sent a pang of pain through my chest. "Laura, I've never forgotten that you risked your life to give me our daughter. I've always been grateful for that." I, a grown man, felt my eyes well up. Seeing this, Caleb started whispering in Laura's ear again. "Laura, this pregnancy was so difficult for you." Her mother lunged at me, tearing at my shirt. "Ethan, you bastard! You give me back my grandson." "Ma'am, use your head for a second," I said sharply. "Caleb is barely in his 20s. What makes you so sure Laura is the only one he's been with?" The old woman froze. Caleb's expression faltered, but he quickly recovered, putting on his martyred act. "Ethan, Laura and I are in love. Why do you have to slander us like this?" Laura, completely swayed by him, was now crying her eyes out. I couldn't stand to watch it anymore. I used the excuse of giving a statement to the police and left the room. Just then, I received a private message. It was a video of Caleb checking into a hotel with another woman. Perfect. I wonder how Laura would feel when she saw this. Ever since I found out about Laura and Caleb, I've been digging into his background. My efforts paid off. I found several of his ex-girlfriends. They all said the same thing. Caleb was handsome, great in bed, and incredibly generous. But when they found out he had married my ex-wife, they were furious about being played and eagerly provided me with a mountain of evidence. Poor Laura. She had thrown everything away for love, not knowing her money was supporting not just her boy toy, but his other women too. Before I could show Laura the evidence, her mother and Caleb showed up at my office with picket signs. My colleagues started whispering, "Did Laura really find a boy toy? Is that what women are into these days? Well, there goes her promotion. It's definitely over for her now." With all the commotion outside, I stayed in my office. When Laura found out what was happening, she rushed to disperse the crowd. "What are you two doing here? Don't you know I'm at work? Can't you just leave it alone?" Freshly reprimanded by our director, she was not in a good mood. "Laura, your mother is here to get justice for you and Caleb," she declared. "Let's see who would dare promote a man like him." I'd seen enough. I closed my window and went downstairs. "What's all this? Laura, you look terrible. Take down the signs," she hissed. Her mother, seeing Mr. Davidson approaching, quickly rolled up the banner. I was done dragging this out. I threw the file of evidence I collected at Laura. "Here, take a look. And you thought you were living some sweet, romantic fantasy with a younger man." After she looked through it, her face turned white with rage. She spun around and slapped Caleb 3 times hard. "Laura, what did I do? Why are you hitting me? This is how you've been lying to me." Caleb, confused, grabbed the phone from her hands. When he saw the contents, he panicked. "Laura, my feelings for you are real. Ethan must have faked all of this to frame me. You know damn well whether it's fake or not," I said, turning to walk back upstairs. I was done with them. Laura ignored Caleb and ran after me, but I locked the office door behind me. She stood outside, pleading, "Ethan, I was wrong. Please forgive me, okay?" I refused to open the door. As colleagues walked by, Laura's face burned with humiliation. She finally retreated to her own office and stayed there for the rest of the day before driving home in defeat. In the months after my showdown with Laura, my life became a whirlwind of activity. I threw myself into my work, aced my performance review, and easily beat out Laura to secure the position of department head. Laura was now my subordinate. When she came to my office to report on her work, she seemed incredibly awkward. "Can you not act like that?" I said. "It's like you think I got this job through some shady means." Ethan, how has Lily been these past few months? That was Rich. After months of not seeing or even asking about her, she suddenly remembered she had a daughter. What's the matter? Now that you've lost your son, you remember you have a daughter? Normally, a comment like that would have infuriated her. But today, she was surprisingly calm. She just sat down, looking completely defeated. I want to go home and see her. I failed her. Home. Laura, if I recall correctly, your home isn't there anymore. She hung her head even lower and pulled a piece of paper from her pocket, placing it on the coffee table. A girl sent this to me. She's pregnant with Caleb's child. Your business with him has nothing to do with me. Laura winced. The truth was our legal battle was already over, and I had won, hand down. After the new house was appraised, the court awarded me my half of the marital asset, plus additional damages because Laura was the at-fault party in a fraudulent divorce. Child custody was also settled. In total, she was ordered to pay me $1 million. Since she wanted to keep living in the house with Caleb, she couldn't sell it. She had to come up with the cash. She borrowed from everyone she knew to pay me the lump sum. Life was good for me now. For Laura, not so much. With a $500,000 mortgage and another $1 million in debt, she was drowning. And now, learning that Caleb was a serial cheater who had been using her money to support other women, it was a soul-crushing blow. Ethan, I'm going to divorce Caleb, she said suddenly. You don't need to tell me that. I need to ask you for a favor. What? I couldn't believe my ears. My ex-wife asking her ex-husband for a favor. Introduce me to your lawyer. I understood. But before any lawyer could get involved, things between them imploded. They couldn't reach a private settlement, and it ended in a massive fight. Laura hadn't wanted to get physical, but Caleb came at her with a rolling pin. In the ensuing struggle, 4 of Laura's ribs were broken. As for Caleb, he fell and suffered a severe cervical spine injury. The hospital's diagnosis was grim, permanent paralysis from the waist down. Now, Laura and Caleb were truly stuck with each other for life. 9, seeing Laura lying in a hospital bed, groaning in pain, her mother's heart was breaking. My sweet girl, this is killing me. How did this happen? It's all that shameless bastard Caleb's fault. He destroyed our perfectly good family. Laura, already miserable, felt a fresh wave of despair at her mother's words. She buried her face in her blanket and sobbed. I walked in with a gift basket and stopped at the doorway, unsure if I should enter or leave. Ethan, Laura's eyes lit up when she saw me. Her mother turned and glared. Haven't you done enough to ruin my daughter? Are you here to gloat? Do you like what you see? I remembered when Laura gave birth to Lily. Her mother took one look at our daughter and said with disgust, she has such a small nose and eyes. She looks nothing like my daughter. She's ruined our family's good genes. She'd also repeatedly called Lily a waste of money who would just end up marrying into another family. When Lily was older, she'd said our daughter was an ungrateful brat, just like me. Once, when we went to visit for the holidays, she locked me and Lily outside. I never understood why she, a woman herself, hated girls so much. But that was all in the past. I didn't want to get dragged into another fight with her. I'm not here to gloat, I said flatly. I'm here on behalf of the company. These are standard get-well items from the Employee Wellness Fund. Rice, flour, cooking oil. Take it and get out. My daughter doesn't need your fake sympathy. Fine by me. I was happy to leave. As I turned to go, Laura called out, Ethan, please forgive me. I know I was wrong. I love you. I just couldn't resist the temptation. I turned my back to her and wiped a tear from my eye. Not every temptation comes with a road back. My life is good now. Don't disturb us. Hearing this, her mother jumped up, grabbed my arm, and slapped me across the face. I was caught completely off guard. Ethan Hayes, you were the one who wanted this divorce all along, weren't you? You framed my daughter. You probably already had another woman lined up, and you were just waiting for her to ask for a divorce. Unbelievable. Was there no one who could control this woman? I took a deep breath and swung back, hitting her square in the face. You old hag, you've got time to harass me, but you'd be better off figuring out how to negotiate a settlement with Caleb's family. Your precious son-in-law is paralyzed. If you don't handle this right, your daughter is going to do jail time. They wish, after what he did to my daughter, they should be thanking me. I'm not suing them. They want money from us. Not in a million years. Lady, you really are trying to get Laura locked up, aren't you? I turned to leave again. Behind me, I heard a loud thud. I didn't have to look. The old woman must have had a heart attack. 10. My former mother-in-law was admitted to the cardiology ward. My colleagues urged me to visit, saying she was still my child's grandmother. But unless you've walked in a man's shoes, you can't tell him what to do. If I went, and my presence caused her to have another episode, I'd never be able to clear my name. I honored my agreement with Laura to make a clean break and stopped asking about her family. But even if I didn't ask, news found its way to me. My colleagues told me that Caleb's paralysis was permanent. The doctors had recommended he be discharged to either a nursing home or home care. His relatives were demanding millions in compensation. Laura had no choice but to take it to court. In the end, the settlement was only $500,000, a sum that, for the current Laura, meant selling the house. The amount was reduced because all the money she had spent on Caleb during their affair was deducted from the total. The money was paid, but Caleb's family left him with her. For the rest of her life, Laura would never be free of Caleb. She had to feed him, bathe him, and clean up after him. With her financial situation, hiring a caregiver was an impossible dream. One weekend, I was at an amusement park with Lily when I saw a familiar figure waving frantically at the entrance. It looked like Laura. I had no desire to see her. I turned to leave, but she ran over. Ignoring the stares of the people around us, she dropped to her knees in front of me, her face streaked with tears. "Ethan, my love, I was wrong. Please forgive me. If you don't, I won't get up." Lily was still young. Seeing her mother looking so worn and desperate, she started to cry. "Mommy, why didn't you come see me? I missed you." Laura tried to use our daughter to manipulate me. "Sweetheart, Mommy made a mistake and Daddy kicked her out. Can you ask Daddy to let Mommy come home?" I couldn't take it anymore. I bent down, scooped Lily into my arms, and said in a low, sharp voice, "Laura, you are shameless. On what ground are you asking for my forgiveness? Honey, I really know I was wrong. Just give me one more chance." "Stop. I'm not in the business of recycling trash." I looked down at her. "And by the way, remember what you said? That if our marriage failed, I had only myself to blame for being stupid." "Yeah, blame me for being stupid. But Laura, what does it say about you that you're kneeling in front of me now, begging me to take you back?" Laura ran a hand through her messy hair, her face etched with exhaustion. "I miss our daughter. I miss you. I miss our home." Home, what a joke. I wasn't an idiot. My life was finally my own. The last thing I wanted was for Laura to be a part of it. "Laura, you can't possibly think that the absolute disaster you've made of your life is some kind of bargaining chip for getting back together, do you? Is there really no chance for us? No chance. And I'll say this one last time, stop disgusting me." Laura staggered to her feet and walked away. I watched her back grow smaller and smaller, a mix of emotions churning inside me. I had once loved her so deeply. We had a beautiful daughter together. Now, I had no idea how I would ever explain this to Lily, or how I would face Laura in the future. Those were questions only time could answer.